scenario, individual rights will be willingly relinquished for the guarantee of their well-being granted to them by the world government.
Henry Kissinger, Bilderberg Conference, 1991, in Evian, France.
We can't be so fixated on our desire to preserve the rights of ordinary Americans.
President Bill Clinton in USA Today on March the 11th, 1993, page 2A. The interest behind the Bush administration, such as the CFR, the Trilateral Commission, founded by Brzezinski for David Rockefeller, and the Bilderberg Group, have prepared for and are now moving to implement open world dictatorship within the next 5 years. Dr. Johannes Koppel, former official of the German Ministry for Defense and advisor to NATO.
We are on the verge of a global transformation. All we need is the right major crisis, and the nations will accept the new world order.
David Rockefeller. Is resistance futile? Well, isn't this lovely? All of the major movers and shakers and warlords are telling us to our faces to pack it in because the game is essentially over. It reminds me of the television series Star Trek, when the Enterprise, the good guys, come up against the Borg, the bad guys, who are half human and half machine. The Borg repeat only one message.
Resistance is futile.
We really do have some significant choices in front of us. If one is relatively new to this point of view, it can be, and probably is, very overwhelming. Most people in our nation have been so well conditioned, and their minds are so compartmentalized that they cannot even contemplate this information. However, since you are listening to this booklet now, you would not have gotten to this point without having at least a relatively open mind. The first question must be,
is this information true?
My response? Each person who reads this booklet and other information concerning 911 needs a very discerning mind. Please, please, please check and double-check all the references. This stuff is kind of serious, to put it gently. Perhaps most importantly, listen to your subconscious. Does your inner voice say that this information is correct? This is a very individual choice. The second question is the big one.
What can we do? Or is resistance futile?
Here is where we really separate the wheat from the chaff. Clearly, these rascals control the banks, the media, the government, most of the technology, and the minds of most people. It doesn't sound fair, does it? This is where faith and prayer have to become the guiding light. Do we really believe in the Creator? Do we really believe that the Creator wants our families, our culture, and our world dominated by literally a handful of materialistic, egotistical, secular atheists who view 99% of the human race as cattle, or at best, no more than servants? I know that these are hard concepts to let one's mind contemplate, but we really don't have the luxury of time. Be aware, ignorance and denial are death sentences. We really are in a cycle that is comparable to Nazi Germany. Though there are places you can run to, and perhaps immigrate to, they really won't be safe for very long. If you know in your heart that there is a creative force, God, you know that this march towards a tyrannical new world order is not something that God wants. This nightmare is the creation of human beings who have forgotten their connection with Spirit and have and are making some very bad choices. It is up to us as individuals to examine ourselves and decide whether we are going to focus our life energies on love, truth, and justice, and stand for these ideals, or whether we are going to give away our own spiritual sovereignty to the masters of deception. The 7-point program. If we truly believe in God, and if we truly want to experience our highest spiritual awareness, then we have some significant work in front of us. Because such an amazing percentage of good people are putting their heads in the sand when it comes to 911, it means that we have that much more work to do. But remember, at the start of the American Revolution, only 5% of the colonists were really leading the way. The restoration of our republic and revitalization of any semblance of truth, peace, and justice for our civilization is spiritual work. And as Thomas Jefferson said,
resistance to tyrants is obedience to God.
The following is a 7-step program for every citizen. First and foremost, close your eyes and go deep within your soul and humbly and passionately connect with your divine self, the creative force of the universe. Ask for clarity, guidance, and strength. Remember, the power of prayer is much more powerful than the power of hate. If ever there was a time to put aside our egos and ask for help, now is that time. Awareness of the game is the second step. The Illuminati, in their own twisted and sad minds, have created this extraordinary illusion to create as much fear as possible, and they have done an extraordinarily good job. We also need to understand that 911 is not the apex of this perverted drama. It is only the opening salvo of the power elite's in-game strategy. Most certainly there will be further Hegelian events, problem, reaction, and solution, that will be manufactured and coming our way. The third step in this dance is gather as much objective information as possible. As Francis Bacon said,
knowledge is power.
The source and reference material in this audio is just awesome. Fourth, we positively, absolutely, no questions asked, have to share this information with friends, family, acquaintances, strangers, everyone. Don't be shy. Sharing this information with others is a great way to start because it is short and hopefully understandable and of interest. Many of the people that you share this information with won't get it, but believe me, every day there are more and more people who are waking up to the lies and manipulation. Creating a website, starting a study group, or even getting a public access television show is something each person is capable of doing. Yes, these actions do take time and energy, but you know what? The rewards of reaching out and sharing this essential information with others is extremely rewarding on a personal level. Step 5. Stop playing their game. Self-sufficiency is the key word. Put a ceiling on desires and do not live on credit. Know that the number one weapon that the elite use to enslave us emotionally, mentally, and physically is through the manipulation of the fractional reserve banking systems. Further, know that bullies, tyrants, and dictators always want to be the center of attention. And in today's world, our society is caught up in glorifying the power elite. Our media is totally fixated on the politicians, movie stars, famous athletes, and the mega rich. Turn off the TV. It really is a mind sucker. And stop supporting the Church of Hollywood. Know it is time for the sovereign peoples of this nation to start creating our own communication systems, schools, businesses, and economies that are based on sustainability, value, and higher human values. We need to focus our attentions on the real and good things of life and the obvious